You're listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon. Hey, what's up, Internet? It's Brandon.
And this is Alex.
And we're Filmmakers.
And we're also drinking bourbon.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, buddy. Hey, what's this?
We're going with recommended bourbon from our buddy George.
Oh, yeah?
Over at Dissolve.
George Special here.
Yeah, he said he was drinking the Bulleit.
Ah.
So I picked up the Bulleit Bourbon Frontier Whiskey, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And it is distilled, aged, and bottled by the Bulleit Distilling Company. Made from pure Kentucky limestone filtered water.
There you go. I already know what this tastes, but tastes like. But let's go ahead and give it a try.
That's good.
Let's do it.
Cheers it up.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Old familiar. Ooh.
It's been sweetened up a little with a little old-fashioned,
You're old-fashioned-y.
I've been drinking some straight burnbourbon a lot recently.
Oh, yeah? What have you been drinking?
I had one today at lunch.
Hey, smart move.
Oh, daggone it, what did I have? I forget.
It was that good, huh?
Yeah,
I'll
have to bring it up next time. It was a small batch one-off. I'd never,
Oh, cool.
Can't remember the name.
Local?
I have no clue.
Nah, probably.
It was good.
I've been drinking the stuff you got me for my wedding.
Oh, Baker's?
Bookers. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's real good.
Came in a nice wooden case.
Well, yeah, it's damn strong though.
Very
28.7 proof or whatever.
Very gift appropriate.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
Hey man.
Yeah.
So what's up? What have you been up to? What are you watching?
What I've been watching. I rented a movie from Redbox.
Yeah.
A couple days ago.
People still do that?
People still do that. Yeah. There's no more Blockbuster, so you gotta go to the automated teller machine there. But I rented It Follows.
Okay.
Horror film.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Horror film and superhero films are your favorite, right?
Horror films basically should never be made.
Oh, they should be made. It's brilliant. Yeah,
they're awful.
This is a good one, man. It's how do I explain it? It's like an STD.
Okay.
Like you are plagued by this demon, and the only way you can get rid of it is to sleep with someone else and give it to them.
Classic.
Yeah, but no one else, unless you've had the demon or whatever, can see it. And
Right.
It just walks towards you really slowly.
Yeah.
Only you can see it. And it
course.
could look like anything.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but the way they do it's crazy. Really good score.
All right.
It's shot really well. Just good film.
Horror films are definitely their own thing. I mean, they've got their own festivals. They have like this
You have
super
fans. I mean,
super niche audiences. Even a really bad horror film can do really well.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's almost like there's a lot of so bad, so good horror films.
And I think a lot of it was kicked off by, they've been around forever, but just the more recent example, Blair Witch.
Right.
Something they made for $50,000 and ended up making over $250,000. Or no.
Sure.
What am I saying? $250 million. Made $250 million.
Right.
Insane.
And so everybody's trying to do that.
Yeah. The found footage, just scare the pants off you with jumps type thing.
I saw the trailer for the one with the hangman.
Hangman.
Something about a noose, and you can't, if you say a certain thing, then all of a sudden you get dragged up off your feet like you're being hung by a noose.
They always
have you not seen this?
No, I haven't seen that.
And it's like, don't say that or whatever, and then if you say it or do it, or
there's like Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Say it 3 times in the dark and she comes at you.
Yeah, and then you get hung.
Yeah, they all have these rules. You're not supposed to do that or else he'll come.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Of course.
Anyway, what about you? What have you been watching?
Oh, well, let's see. Still really digging on HBO.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're finished episode 3 last night of True Detective 2.
I've still only seen episode 1.
Oh man,
I know. I need to catch
good.
up.
I just love how it's shot. I mean, I think we had talked about for one of our projects. Referenced
stylistic.
The sort of the conversations in the bar between what's his name, Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn.
Super dark.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Darkly lit, and they've got some cool angles where they'll shoot from way across the room with maybe 3 or 4 tables in front of the camera, and they're on like a very far corner table with maybe a little half glass of bourbon or whatever was left over in the foreground, and they're kind of off in the background. And just really has some great mood to it, and puts you in that space of like, wow, this is kind of
You're kind of a voyeur.
It's
like
kind of
listening in on their secret convo.
But it's kind of also like, it just really paints the town of like this dark, depressing sort of like doom and gloom sort of scenario. But
I like it.
It's pretty good. Rachel McAdams is in it.
I like her a lot.
I think I'm crushing on her pretty hard right now.
Has she become a badass yet, or she?
She's just adorable.
No. Yeah.
But she's got this mole. On her chin.
Yeah.
And I paused the movie. We paused it for something. I don't know if my wife got a phone call or whatever.
Landed on the mole.
We landed on a tight of her, a close up of her, and it's just mole. I mean, a lot of mole.
Mole.
But I kept looking at it, and I'm like, it's kind of cool. Like,
it's unique. It's like Marilyn Monroe's
It's
mole.
weird. Yeah, but it doesn't. It looks more like a wart than it does a mole.
That's why I think Sarah Jessica Parker got hers removed.
Maybe, I don't know.
Too witchy.
If
too much like a witch.
If anyone out there knows for sure whether it's a mole or a wart
or freckle,
it'd have to be a raised freckle, which I think would be then classified
cancerous
as a mole or cancerous.
Too much time in the sun.
But if you know what is exactly, if there's any dermatologist filmmakers who enjoy bourbon,
that's
and you happen to know
information.
What is on Rachel McAdams' chin, which trust me, she's adorable. I love her. I'm crushing on her right now.
Really
but
good
I do want to know if it's a mole or like a pimple or like, I don't know. I'd like to know.
A constant pimple.
Yeah. It's something. But so we've been watching that. It's really good. It's a lot slower, I feel, than last season, and it sometimes it's almost sort of droning and sleepy. And since you've only watched one episode, you won't get that.
No,
but
I mean, I've seen the posts of people that just aren't
feeling
enthusiastic. Well, because they are wrongly, comparing it to season one.
Oh, you can't.
When they're standalone, they're standalone, self-contained stories.
Well, but I think the comparison's fair in that the chemistry between Harrelson and McConaughey
unparalleled,
was magical.
Yeah,
and
Farrell
that
and
whole series,
Vince Vaughn
episode 1, was just amazing. How, I mean, you didn't even have to show anything else except for the two of them talking in the car. Their dialogue was just great.
Yeah, drew you in.
Yeah, and with this whole season 2, it's just a lot, I don't know, darker and sort of droney and
Vince
drawn
Vaughn
out.
To me is just kind of a little flat anyway.
Yeah, he's
I see him, maybe it's because I see him as a
Yeah.
comedic actor, and so when he's trying to play a drama role, I get like, I don't think he can do it, so I have a preconceived, like...
And the new theme
thing.
song this year is kind of weird. I kind of like it. My wife hates it, but it's that,
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the road,
With that real deep voice,
walking
dude.
down, I'm so alone, or whatever it is. It's like
Yeah.
this real, but it's got like this electronica beat instead of a rhythm and blues beat.
The first time I heard
T-Bone
it,
Burnett
it was
produces all the
goofy, but it's kind of...
But you kind of like it, don't you?
Yeah.
So do I.
Because it's so... And I love that they stuck with the same style for the title sequence.
Love the title
of the
sequence.
overlays
Oh, yeah.
and the, like, double exposure
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, we're talking way too much about this.
What? I mean...
I like it.
It's
I'm
a
geeking
show
on
about
it.
filmmaking.
Yeah, I'm geeking on it, yeah. So we're watching that. Still love Ballers. I'm in on episode 5, and I still like it. I
Haven't
still
tried
care
it
about
yet.
Dwayne Johnson. I like the characters. I like the backstories. These players are getting into like scandals with hookers and drugs, and what's cool is they're not really making the show about the hookers and the drugs. It's about how do we get this guy out of it.
Yeah.
You know, as these financial managers, and
They don't want him to blow his
how do we
money.
change this guy's image
For sure.
before he loses his deal? And so you see that sort of backroom stuff happening. I dig it.
Somebody else recently was mentioning Ballers about how great it was.
I think it's good, man.
I'm going to have to check it out. I don't
Yeah.
know. The trailer looked interesting, and I like The Rock. I think he's hilarious. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just a
got some
huge
moments.
gorilla of a
Sure.
dude with
Yeah, big boy.
some comebacks. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good one.
So that's pretty good. But I think, when we're talking about what we're watching,
Yeah.
I'm really excited more about what am I excited about and what I'm watching. Does that make sense? Like, we always ask each other, what we're watching, what we're working on, what we're excited about. I
Yep.
feel like this week it's got to be back to back with what we're excited about.
What are you
Could
excited
not be more stoked about Narcos, the new Netflix series about the Pablo Escobar
I saw your
era.
post. I haven't watched
Oh,
it yet.
man.
I haven't checked out the trailer
Dude,
or whatever.
It looks so good. But again, I have this affinity where I kind of love Pablo Escobar.
yeah.
I love his story. I love the
Empire.
vibe. I love the way
Yeah.
they dressed. I love He's kind of I know he was a horrible, like he killed lots of people, but I also know he did lots of good. He's kind of a Robin Hood in a way.
For maybe his local community.
Yeah, he did some stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a mystique about him that I think is pretty interesting.
The good bad guy. Yeah.
Kinda.
That's how you feel about him?
I don't know, man. He's got a certain suave about him. He's like a GQ real life bad guy that you kind of admire.
Was that Blow? Was that the same story? What was Blow with Johnny Depp?
I mean, it was definitely about...
Was that Escobar or was that
drugs and cocaine or whatever? I'm not sure. I don't know if it was Escobar.
It's been forever since I've seen
But there's the new film Escobar with Benicio del Toro. And Benicio and Josh Hutcherson, who's a Cincinnati kid.
Yeah. I thought he was like Northern Kentucky.
Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati.
He's here, yeah.
He's in the film, and he like hooks up with Escobar's niece. And the storyline is that he gets into it, and then he realizes, oh my gosh, what have I gotten into?
I can't get out.
Yeah. And so I've seen the trailer. It looked great. I have not seen the film yet, but I really want to see that. So anyway,
Narcos.
Regardless,
so it's drama, complete drama, not doc.
Yeah, it's a drama.
Okay.
Narcos is a drama, and it's about these undercover, I guess DEA, FBI agents that go deep undercover. And they work this whole deal on Escobar, and it looks awesome.
Sounds intense. I love stuff that's based on real life like that. That's great.
It looks really good.
Dude, speaking of like drug crime and that, have you seen the trailer for Sicario?
I was just getting ready to bring that up.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So
now, is that Rachel McAdams in that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, it's not. No, it's
who is that? Another short. Looks like her in the trailer.
It's the chick that was in Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Hanks.
We'll have to dial that up.
Oh, God.
I thought that looked amazing.
It's shot by Roger Deakins, who's far and away, I think, the best cinematographer working today. His stuff is just...
That was a bold statement.
Oh, I'll stand by it. I mean, nice. I'll show you clips from these different...
I like a fiery Alex.
Yeah.
A fiery Alex who steps up for his DP and says, here's the guy.
Dude, he's awesome.
Solid.
I mean, you talk to any...
Do you think we can get him on the show?
No.
Why not?
Because he's probably working.
All right.
And he's too big for us, man.
Who knows, man? Maybe not.
But anyway,
you know who was too big for us?
What's up?
James Franco.
I
know. I'm going to throw in the towel. We haven't brought him up in several shows.
He texted me yesterday and said sorry.
I assumed people might be thinking. But I'm going to go ahead and say that we got big timed. We got big timed by James Franco.
Yeah, he's just a busy guy.
Yeah, boy, he doesn't drink. Maybe that was the deal.
He doesn't drink bourbon.
That was the wrong market. We need to go for somebody who will enjoy the bourbon.
Agreed.
All right, so we'll keep looking.
Maybe Deakins likes bourbon.
We'll see.
Let's contact Roger Deakins.
So yeah, that movie looks great. What other things are you excited about?
Oh, hold on. It's Emily Blunt.
All right.
Is in Sicario.
Awesome.
This chick, right?
Yeah.
You've seen her.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, gorgeous, great actress.
I'm down with that.
Fantastic. Either way, I love his cinematography. I think it's so naturalistic yet, like slightly, I don't know, stylistically refined.
You know what else I'm excited about?
What's up? What are you excited about?
Point Break. The new Point Break.
Wait, new Point Break?
How do you not know? Yeah,
I think you might have brought this up
the
before.
trailer dropped like a month ago or it's a couple weeks ago.
Is it Keanu?
No, it's like all new dudes. They're all like extreme sports athletes, and they're like pushing it to the limit.
Dumb.
It's like crazy big wave riders,
Dumb.
Squirrel suits.
Dumb.
I don't know, man.
It's not Keanu.
But it's like a whole reinvented. It's going to be intense. I'm in. I'm going to go see it.
Is it going to be about the dead presidents again?
I don't know, but my buddy Joe in New York, you know Joe Bulleit. He was They won the film competition. They beat us.
Yeah,
Thanks,
right.
Joe, for beating us.
Thanks for beating us.
Old wounds, bringing up old wounds. But me and Joe are
just buried it. That's why.
Yeah. But me and Joe got to know each other, and we're kindred spirits because we both love Point Break.
Have you ever fired your gun up in the air and screamed "Doc"?
So anyway, we're plotting on a way for me to meet up with him in New York for the premiere of the new one.
The new one?
And,
who's in it?
And watch the old one in New York and L.A. and I think mainly New York and L.A.
Double feature?
No, they do Point Break nights. That's kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You brought this up last time.
It's like Rocky Horror, and they act it out.
That's goofy.
It's awesome.
Who's in it? Who's in the new one?
I don't even know.
I'm
like some Scottish dude or whatever.
2015 Point Break.
It's gonna be rad. It's gonna be rad. It's gonna be cool.
That's weird, man.
So we'll see. My
nobody that we know.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool, but that's kind of like, I'm not saying it's gonna be a great movie. It's just it's in my heart.
Yeah, it's your thing.
Although,
big wave surfers and crime.
Have you heard anything recently? One of my favorite directors is Bigelow, who directed Point Break.
Yeah.
Which
is so weird that she directed Point Break and then like Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30.
That's kind of what she does. She directs all these like dude-centric like you know what I mean? Like it's kind of
I know. I just don't connect Point Break to Hurt Locker.
But it's awesome.
Yeah, I guess her thing's just being badass.
She's a badass. But is she? What's she working on? She got anything brewing up?
That's a good question. Probably some like top secret government op that we don't know about yet that she has access to, and she's going to make a movie like real time, a month after it happens.
Yeah, that could be happening.
Anyway, I don't know. She's a good director.
What else are you? Is there anything else
that I'm excited
stoked for to watch or to see?
Yeah, you're not going to like it.
Oh God,
I'm excited.
Let me guess.
What's that?
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
of course you are.
And Batman versus Superman.
Oh jeez. Even worse. Okay, so this brings up. Okay, we're gonna bring in. This is almost gonna become Superhero 2.0.
Go for it.
Show because I read an article. The superhero comic book community they're at odds.
I saw your post.
They're at odds.
Yeah. It's like the downfall of our society.
No.
Infantilizing or something.
The DC.
That part of it.
They're all about the darkness and making it super Christopher Nolan, dark and deep or whatever. But the Marvel side is all about the family friendly and the funny
Ant-Man and all that stuff. Yeah.
And there's like two camps almost, and the people in the Marvel camp feel like the DC camp has gone too far. That it's not accessible for kids, and it's all just mainstream towards adults. And, I don't know. What are your thoughts? You actually like these movies?
Yeah, which is fine with me. I think it's okay that there are two camps and that there are two styles and two groups that they're going after. Like if you want the family-friendly, quirky, funny, goofy stuff, go see a Marvel movie. Like that it's okay. If you want dark and gritty and something that's like, okay, I like these characters and I know these characters, but I also am a fan of crime dramas and action flicks and a little language and some scandalous situations. Yeah, go see a DC flick.
What do you think sells better? We need to dig up some data and see what sells better. Is it the dark, the Batman stuff, or like the Iron Man stuff?
I don't know, because what do you base that on? Because box office wise, you look at Avengers, Marvel, blown away the competition. Every single film they release is just like a box office smash.
But do they sell DVDs?
Oh, I can almost guarantee it.
I would almost bet that like the Batman stuff will do better over time because it's more
timeless.
Yeah.
Marvel is kind of like an in the moment thing. You go see it and you're like, oh, that was fantastic, and then a month goes by and you're like, well, there are some issues with that. I feel like
any film that promotes itself with AC/DC Thunder,
like Iron Man or whatever,
is just horrible.
Thunderstruck.
Yeah, like that's just horrible. Like that's like the number one reason not to go see a movie.
I think that was appropriate use of Thunderstruck.
I don't know, dude.
Anyway,
it's horrible.
I know. I like the darker stuff, honestly. I like the Batman films and really just gritty.
Do you think that somebody will try to do some darker Marvel, like Iron Man, like super dark and like edgy?
Hold on, I think.
Oh, and by the way, the one thing I was going to bring up in the article I read, they basically pitted credited everything with Frank. What's his name? The guy who does the dark comics. Frank.
The Sin City. Frank Miller.
Is it Frank Miller?
Frank Miller. All the dark comics.
Yeah.
Sin City, 300. Yeah. All those. Yeah. Frank Miller.
Him, or maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. I'm not a big comic.
Well, either way,
guy.
You're asking about dark. Will Marvel go dark? I don't know if they're going like dark, but they're definitely going not family friendly. They're doing Daredevil. They're releasing Daredevil with Ryan Reynolds.
Isn't there like a TV series called Daredevil
there
on
is,
Netflix?
But
was it any good?
No, I'm sorry, not Daredevil.
Flash?
No, why am my mind blanking?
Falcon?
Right now? No, not Daredevil.
I don't know. Either way, the thing here's my that's fine. My thoughts on it are this. Who cares? They're both horrible horrible movies, whether they're dark or happy. Once again, there's just, what's the point?
Why am I blanking?
What is the point when we could be watching
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah. Deadpool.
I don't know. See, I don't know.
It's either way. It's like
it's all the same stuff again and again and again and again. Why? I mean,
but they're doing it's an R rating, which is the big deal. Like
okay,
they're releasing it with an R rating, and they're allowing all this stuff that's never been allowed before.
Because my 6-year-old won't be able to see it.
No, not at all.
Because he's he thinks he's cool that he's seeing PG-13.
Yeah. Well, Deadpool is like the anti-hero with a big mouth on him.
You might as well make PG-13 R. Like, you can do anything you want in PG-13.
You can show a naked woman. You can say the F word.
Yeah.
You can, it's crazy.
It's like
but only a certain amount of times, as if like more than once is any worse than once.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
The craziest thing on that topic of like kid appropriate stuff was it Transformers 2 when the robot turns into the super hot blonde with the tongue and then
God,
mounts the dude.
Yeah.
Dude, my son was like so stoked. He was like, should I be watching this? But I cannot turn away.
Yeah. And you were like, well, I can't really focus enough to cover your eyes. So, yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, they're getting away with more and more. But I think it's fine because I like dark, scandalous stuff.
All right. I watched a couple of cool indie films.
What did you watch?
There was a film with, what's her name, from Friends and Mos Def. It's called something Steelers.
Steelers.
Ah, daggone it.
Doesn't sound like anything I'd like. Who day?
Let me dig it up. I will dig that up right now. But while I dig that up, what else is going on, man?
We've been watching a lot of stuff. So we were trying to catch up on Orange is the New Black, which I know that you've kind of fallen out of love with.
I'm totally out.
Yeah.
Done.
We still like it. It's still entertaining. It's better than a lot of shows out there. Still need to watch True Detective, keep up on that. You know what I'm really stoked about is not something that I've watched, really, but it's something that I've helped create. So I guess this would take us to what have you been working on kind of a thing.
All right. Yeah.
If that's cool, if you want to shift in that direction.
No, you can totally jump on that. But
so this is like
I do have.
Oh, go for it.
I do have the name of that film.
Yeah.
Because people might be wondering. It's called Life of Crime.
Life of Crime.
Life of Crime. I highly recommend it.
Who was the chick from
really
Friends?
Good. What's
Jennifer
her name?
Aniston?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jennifer Aniston. And Daniel Schechter.
No idea.
Was the director on it. And it's really, 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 really good.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
And it's good. It's like a little heist movie.
On
Not
Netflix?
a heist. It's like a kidnapping movie.
On Netflix?
Yeah. Jennifer Aniston gets kidnapped.
Sweet.
And then it kind of like goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
She like the comedic victim?
No.
Oh.
No. Yasmin Bey, i.e. Mos Def, is in it. Mark Boone or whatever from Sons of Anarchy. Tim Robbins, Will Forte.
Sweet. But see, there's some comedic
Isla
characters
Fisher's in there. There's just like a ton of like supporting actors and actresses.
Is Will Forte still his comedic self though?
Yeah, he's pretty good. John Hawkes crushes it. So yeah, man.
Indie film.
It's really good.
Good for indie films. Anyway, back to my shameless plug.
Yeah.
My shameless
back to indie
plug.
films. No,
indie
that's
film.
not. It's totally relevant.
Yeah. So speaking of indie films,
yeah, you just had a release, right? Or you're
there? Yeah, we actually released a trailer for the first short film that I've ever shot.
Cool.
Not including documentaries. First narrative short that I've shot today called Daniel and Siri.
Nice, which we've got up on the site.
Which will be up on the site,
at fdbpodcast.com.
Please check it out. Let us know what you think. Let me know what you think.
By the way, we've been posting a lot more stuff on there.
We should be.
There's links, there's quotes, there's cool stuff.
We've gotten all sorts of reviews and messages of goodwill.
Yeah.
But so the trailer I think it turned out pretty cool. The story is it's like a family drama.
Right.
Artist.
Don't give it away.
I'm not going to give it away, but artist who's struggling with some emotional issues. Him and his wife, they're kind of going through a rough time. They have to confront some past that comes back into their life.
Sure.
Super emotional and dark, like I like it.
Right.
Pretty cool though. I'm pretty proud of it. Honestly.
I've seen it.
You haven't seen the film. You've seen the trailer.
I've seen the trailer.
You have.
It looks really good.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Did
we
a good
shot it
job.
on the Alexa with a set of super speeds, some Hollywood Blackmagic diffusion filters in
Cool.
front of the lens, and a bunch of haze because we wanted a nice gritty, like super soft, old school film look.
Yeah.
And so the use of those two things really brought out a nice texture.
You know what?
grain
Elaborate on the use of a hazer. We're
Yeah.
going to be using one coming up. We got to shoot for a small little boutique company that does wood, hand carved wood, sort of signs and designs, like
Cool.
home decor.
Yeah.
And in their wood shop, we're going to haze a little bit to catch some of the
show
some
the-
of the
the
light.
light
Yeah.
rays.
So talk a little bit about what are some things what are some things people should think about? How they should approach it? Is there a better hazer than another? Is the hazer the same as a fog machine? Can I go to a local costume store? Break that down for us.
Well, so yeah, hazer's definitely not the same as a fog machine. Hazer puts very fine particles into the air that if you don't overdo it, it's almost imperceptible to the camera that there's particles floating around, but you do get some ambience and you see light sources, see the kind of directionality of the light.
Right.
It softens the image up. It's really good for close-ups and beauty shots of older women or, whatever you're trying to do. A fogger, on the other hand, is like you want that haunted house feel. You want the volume, particles. You want to be able to see it. That's what a fogger is for.
So is the solution the same or is it different?
I don't know if it's...
Is it? I guess what I'm saying is...
I'm not an expert, but...
I guess what I'm saying is if...
It's released in a different way.
If you have a fogger...
Yeah.
And you let it run for a little bit and then you wave it out, are you kind of creating a...
You'll get some
You know what I'm saying?
remaining ambience. It's just, I don't know, it's not the same though. I wouldn't do that. If you're on an indie film and you're, doing it, yeah, maybe if that's your only option, do a poof of fog into the room and then waft it around. But in general, get an actual hazer. Go through your local grip and electric house and see what kind of hazers they have in stock. Ask their advice. They'll give you some good tips. But like I said, great for just creating a kind of atmosphere, nice atmosphere.
Add some drama.
Yeah, but one thing I will say is just don't overdo it. And that's one thing I learned on this short film, actually, Daniel and Siri, is there were a couple times where we overdid it. But it's turned out cool.
Dial back the haze a little.
Dial back the haze, yeah. a little goes a long way. So use a bunch in the wide shot, or
Sure.
a little more in the wide shot, and then, tone it back as you get closer and closer. Or the opposite way around, I don't know.
Unless you're trying to make it look like a smoke-filled...
Yeah, if
bar
you want
or
to look
whatever.
like a bar, yeah, do that, which we might end up doing on
Which
Kill
actually
Game.
wouldn't really work anymore because most bars
Or not.
are smoke-free.
Yeah, they're smoke-free. But if you're doing a period piece or something where they did smoke, very appropriate.
Absolutely.
Either way. It's a good tool to have, good tool to use. So that
cool.
combined with those diffusion filters, those Hollywood Blackmagics, really just softened everything up. Made it look a little more like film, a little less digital.
Nice.
Give it a cool look.
Well, since we're plugging...
Yeah. What's up?
No, it's not really a plug, but...
Plug away, my friend.
we're finally going to release I'm So Cincinnati from Donnie Maserati.
Oh, that's
So
coming out.
I think we're gonna drop it on. We're gonna go ahead and drop it on YouTube and get it out there via Twitter and his main audience, and then later on we'll get it up on World Star Hip Hop.
Nice. Well, that'll be
man.
cool. I'm excited to see how that turned out.
Yeah, it was fun working with him on that, working with you on that, and just everybody.
I don't even know if I've seen the final cut
Everybody in Cincinnati that was involved was just super cool and helpful, and I hope we get a lot of good buzz. I mean, it's it's his personal narrative in the song, but I feel like there's a sense that everyone
can relate to it.
everyone has their own hustle.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, let's cheers to our projects, man.
Cheers, man! It's been fun.
Cheers. There's
And
cheers to the projects.
I'd love to hear what other people are working on. We get
always.
we get a lot of sort of ask me anythings, and
Yeah.
we got a couple we'll jump into here in a second. But
Actual questions.
a lot of them are questions about us or whatever. But I'd love to hear what other people are working about.
Don't be afraid to plug yourself.
Yeah, so
send us the
definitely-
trailer to your new film, and we'll put it out there.
Well, yeah, and then include some links and just kind of why you liked it, or put a little context around it. We get a lot of I mean, we get a lot of random connects on Twitter who are saying promote our film or whatever like that. But I don't know that they're listeners or whatnot. So if you're listening to the podcast and you're in the community, go to fdbpodcast.com. Go to Ask Me Anything and go ahead and submit on there a link to your trailer, your film, your music video.
Yeah.
A camera test. If you got a new camera, you got something cool you want to show us.
We read it all.
Talk about why you like it. We would love to hear from you guys, and so we can share that with the community and make it a part of the show. So,
absolutely.
But we've got some stuff.
Yeah, let's
can we dial it up?
it, man. Yeah.
So we have heard from a couple different people, and one of which asked this. It's anonymous. They don't list who it is. It says, have you done any work with drones? What role do drones have in filmmaking? Random thoughts on drones and their impact on video production and film industry. Love the show.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Second, I think the initial thought, we were just talking about this earlier, came to mind. I was listening to NPR on the way down.
Yep.
And drones are getting a lot of bad press recently for their interfering in the actual workings of a functional society, like the fire department.
Right.
So people are, hobbyists are flying drones around these wildfires, I guess, hoping to get good footage or something beautiful.
I heard the same thing.
And pilots up there, people that are actually working to keep people safe and houses from burning down are having to ground their planes so they don't run into drones. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
Yeah, don't fly a drone around a wildfire. I don't know,
but part of that is that at what point do we segment and govern the airspace, right? Like,
I think what they're doing is appropriate. Like, certain distance away from the fire. If you're too close, you get a $25,000 fine.
Sure.
And hopefully that's enough to sting for you to say, okay, yeah, I was wrong. Sorry. If a drone gets sucked into an engine aircraft, that thing's probably going to have a bad day.
Yeah, or if it got into the rotors on a helicopter.
Horrible. Just
even though some of these drones are really light and small,
they can do damage.
You can do some damage for sure.
Yeah, I would just say use judgment. Either way, in the filmmaking realm, apart from the bad press and stuff, I think
they're changing the game.
They're becoming very useful. Yeah, because people used to have to hire a helicopter and a motorized,
gimbal,
stabilized pod on the front of it to get wide aerial shots, and nowadays you hire your local aerial dude with an octocopter and a Red Dragon, and he'll get you the same shot for way less.
Well, not only that, but you can get shots with the drone you can't get with a helicopter.
You can get closer.
It's so small. You
can
go closer. You can fly between buildings. You can do really rad shots that a helicopter would never be able to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I think it's a game changer, and it's allowing independent filmmakers and video production houses that are small guys to get big time shots.
Huge. I mean, now with the not even just the octocopters, hoisting an Epic or whatever, but like the Phantoms and the DJI brands.
Sure.
Tiny little things that you just run a GoPro, and the new GoPros are 4K capable. Yeah. And
and they were asking, have we done any work with them? We have.
You do.
Yeah. Lead Frame. We've got a Phantom 2 with the 3-way gimbal, and we mount a GoPro 4K, the new Hero 4. And I think of it this way: I don't have the whole visualization package where I can fly first person. I don't have fancy goggles.
Yeah.
We kind of look at it like this. There's different mindsets. I don't want to become a specialized drone pilot. That's not really my goal.
Hire a dude for that.
Yeah. If I'm going to do a project where I need that type of specific maneuvers and flying, I want to hire somebody who that's what they do, because I'm going to get the best possible shots. So I would recommend to listeners, if there's a project where you have to get some really intense sort of flight patterns or sequences, hire a professional. You're going to be happier with the footage. You're going to be happier with your ability to pull off certain maneuvers and shots. The way we use the drone, and I recommend this, and there's different people that have different philosophies. That's fine. I think of it as some, using it as like a pretty basic jib, right?
It's like an aerial dolly.
I'm going to get a great, vertical bottom to top.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a top down to the bottom. I'm going to get a left to right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a right to left. I might get a
push hand or fly over.
I might get a diagonal right to left, moving from up left down to the right-hand corner. That's pretty easy to do, and be a an intermediate flyer.
I think one of the really...
And I'll do some sort of like push-ins, pull-outs, and stuff like that. But when you start getting into these like turning corners and flying through things, I think you're going to be happy if you got somebody who has a lot of flight time.
I think one of the really cool ways that you used it recently, I think last year or maybe earlier this year, it was last year, was that the beer dock, where you started way above this house and then you elevator down, but you also hit an edit in there where you kind of come down. It looks like the camera comes through the roof into a guy behind his computer.
That was the magic
really
of
cool.
Ryan Woolfolk.
But still, I mean, see, that's I think a really cool, innovative, simple use of drones today, like that. Just like you said, an air.
And again,
chip.
The only time, I mean, the whole purpose of drones and helicopters and anything else is you're bringing the story from the stratosphere down to the ground level, right? You're getting this overview shot of a city or whatever it might be.
Establishing is what it is.
You're given a feeling of where are we in the world, in the geography, and then you bring that story back down to the human interest.
Yeah.
And that's how I think it's
it's a good tool.
Typically used.
It's a really good tool.
So yeah, I think overall we're pro drone.
Pro drone.
Don't mess with authorities. Respect authorities. They're there to save us. They're there to help us.
Yeah.
And don't invade people's privacy. And I think if everybody follows those rules and kind of respects each other, then we'll all be able to continue to having a good time and getting cool shots.
For sure.
As soon as we don't, then everybody loses.
Well, then you ruin the game for everybody. Yeah, like don't fly them around airports.
Yeah, or the White House.
Or the White House.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, pro drone, I think it's a great tool.
So speaking of camera stabilization and movement, our next person
Yeah.
says, "Hey guys, love the podcast. Curious to hear your thoughts on new stabilization products. What experience do you have with the Movi, Ronin, or Helix? Any other cool stabilization products to look out for? Thoughts?" And again, it's from an anonymous user.
I have used, just from my experience, I've used the Movi a bunch, the Movi M10.
Okay. They got two, right?
They have three. So
Okay.
they have an M5, an M10, and M15. That's all their weight limit is that number.
Okay.
So 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds until it's maxed out. But the M10 was the first one to come out. So it has the least updated motors and all that stuff. So I've used it a bunch, and I've had a bunch of issues with it.
They're big.
They're big. It's lighter than the Ronin. The Ronin's much heavier because it's made out of aluminum instead of carbon fiber, but either way, it's cheaper too. So, and it holds more weight.
Now, for those, you got some people who know what those things are.
Yeah.
So break it down for us from a technical standpoint. As a director, I'm just looking at the monitor.
For sure.
I don't know what's happening.
So,
but you got to have more than one person, right?
Well, here's the thing. So, first of all, the 3-axis handheld gimbals, like the Ronin, the Movi, the Helix, the Lettuce Helix, any of that stuff, it's just a series of motors that are balanced and calibrated to keep the camera level. So no matter what direction you move the handlebar in, the camera will stay level,
and they're
theoretically.
Based on like gyroscope type stuff?
Based on gyroscopic technology. It came from the aerial world. It came from Free Fly. They pretty much brought it into the mainstream of cinema. They started out as, they had all these aerial helicopters, planes, stuff like that. They used gyroscope technology. They just brought that to a consumer level. But so as a director, you would come to your DP, and say, hey, I want this fluid tracking shot from, it starts here and it goes down the stairs and up the elevator and it follows them, but it's super smooth, like Steadicam or whatever. But we don't have the budget for Steadicam, and I can't lay track and dolly because of the, amount of ground that it covers. I would potentially say, yeah, let's check out one of these Movies or a Ronin, because you just hold the handlebar, the camera dangles beneath it, it's stabilized, and you can go wherever you want. Pretty cool.
But what about focus?
Focus, so that's an issue. Either you set it and forget it, and you just go, and you keep the subject at the constant distance the entire time, or you attach, focus or zoom motors to the rig and have your AC off, pulling focus from a monitor.
Now, have you done that?
Yes.
Is that hard for an AC to pull with
No.
remotes?
I did that on the first 21 Pilots video shot, Stressed Out, and my AC had no issues whatsoever. The only issue we had with the Movi
was there a latency on it?
minimal. I mean, very, very minimal. Not enough to really screw things up. The issue we had, though, was tacking on the motors meant that you're adding more weight to the rig. And the Movi with an Epic Dragon and with wireless video transmitter and stuff is pretty much already maxed out. So the motors start failing.
Gotcha.
So it ends up looking a little more handheld than smooth because the motors
Sure.
can't compensate.
So what about you talked about the Movi, what about the Ronin? Are they they're trying to hit a lower price point, right?
Ronin is definitely a lower price point. I think it's like a third of the cost.
And they got like a little guy now, right? A new one? That's
Yeah,
like
I think they have two. Yeah, the Ronin Mini or whatever they're calling it. But the original Ronin holds 15 pounds, and I haven't used it personally. I'm really eager to because of the weight limit and because the motors are newer, and I've heard great things.
Yeah.
So
I saw most all of them at NAB.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to get my hands on them because I hit that section of the floor on day one.
it was just packed.
And it was just packed
Yeah.
with camera nerds
like me.
Just, well, it was like two extremes. It was like legitimate operators,
Yeah.
and then just like random hobbyists who were like, what does this do?
Why were they there?
And there's always random people.
Maybe they're audio guys that are looking at video
Who
stuff.
knows? Yeah, it was crazy.
I love you, all my audio guys.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So why would you want to use stabilization like a Movi or a Ronin or Helix over a Steadicam?
Budget,
Is it better? Is it worse? Does it give you creative freedom?
cheaper. It gives you a little bit of creative freedom. I mean, I've seen a couple videos like from what's his name, Vincent Laferret, however you say his name. Really talented dude, but he did a test project short film thing where they're dropping it from ropes over the sides of railing, and another operator's catching it down below and continues the shot, which you can't do with a Steadicam because that's locked onto one guy.
Right. That's what I guess that's what I'm getting at is why would I even want to use a Steadicam?
They're both different tools. You get much more control quality out of a Steadicam. If you got something you want to do and you basically want a dolly shot, but you can't physically lay track, or you need to see the floor, or you need to go fast, but you want that dolly look, use a Steadicam with a skilled operator. Like you just do that. That makes sense. If you need a little more flexibility in terms of where you're going to go with it, like hoisting it up, or I've even seen people attaching the gimbal head thing to a crane.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, I've seen people attaching like a Ronin to a Steadicam. So it's a stabilized head on top of a stabilized arm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different tool, honestly.
All right.
You can get a lot of the same types of stuff with a Steadicam and a gimbal, but if you got the option and you don't need the gimbal, go with Steadicam.
All right. Well, this kind of leads into our next Ask Me Anything, which is from AJ Wendell from Charleston, West Virginia.
Ooh.
We got listeners everywhere, dude.
Charleston.
That's crazy. We've
That's
got
sweet.
listeners everywhere. Have you ever been there?
Yeah,
I've been there. I've been all through West Virginia. Yeah.
You've probably been there on a bike, haven't you?
No. Well, maybe
No.
no.
Hmm.
No. But I've been through the whole state.
Sweet.
And it's out there, man. There's some
I like it. It's super green.
It's rattlesnake country.
I dig it.
A lot of rattlesnake churches down there.
I dig it.
So
What
he
do you
says,
say? What do you ask?
any advice for a smaller production house looking to grow? I'm a recent grad, and I just started working in the industry at a small agency looking to grow. Any other advice? And then he adds on that he thinks it would be awesome to have a special episode where we both get smashed and watch a short film.
I do that on my own time.
This is a professional situation we're in here.
Yeah.
Come on, AJ.
What are you thinking, AJ?
I don't know. New
far as
growing. I'll tell you, every single day there's a brand new production company who launches.
Yep. There's a lot of them.
And you know why? Just for all the reasons we just talked about. Because all this gear is so cheap now.
It's becoming affordable for everybody.
Every camera is going to be shooting 4K by
Yep.
next year.
Your phone's going to be shooting 4K.
Everybody is going to have stabilization.
Uh-huh.
Everything's going to look amazing.
Yeah. So then it's going to be about who can tell the best story.
Or who has the best podcast.
Or who has the best podcast. Either way, no, I think it's eventually it's
So what are your tips for
Eventually it's going to all even out.
What are your tips for the...
About growing a production company?
Yeah, just a new young production company. Come at it from your angle of gear. And,
I was going to say, I think this is more of a you question since you've been through this. But
I'll get into it.
From my angle, with gear and with dealing with clients...
Well, dealing with production companies. You work with production companies. What would you tell them? What do they need to know about working with freelancers?
They, as a production company... let's start out a little more general, and then we'll break it down. Production companies need to know how much things cost, how much people cost, and what a good project will cost them to make. Far too often, I see some production companies not paying fair wages or being too hard on their crew. They get too long of hours, and they're not sorry about it or whatever, and then people don't want to work with them again.
Yeah.
Or they promise a thing that they can't deliver to a client, and the client doesn't want to work with them again, or whatever. There's a bunch of different things, but just know how much things cost, know how much people cost, and know what you can do in a given amount of time.
I would agree with that. I think that, being the one of the co-founders of Leap Frame Digital Film and Motion Design, we're a boutique, firm, and we do some small projects, we do some big projects, but one of the things I always have tried to make a point of is to always have a great vibe on set, always treat people with respect, go out of your way to talk to everyone from the PA to the grips, make sure everybody's having a good time, make sure everybody's, eating well, make sure people get paid on time, because then you get people who, work hard for you, and the crew will, they'll put in the extra effort because they know that you're going to do them a solid, and you're not going to wait 90 days to pay them. So I think that's important. I think also you hit it on a good point. Know what things cost. You gotta have a business plan. This is an art form. It is something that we do for fun.
But you're also a production company.
A business, and so I think where a lot of people miss the mark is, people will call, or a client will call and say, "Oh, I've got $2,000 to do this project, this video," and you say, as a small company, you say, "Oh man, that sounds amazing," that's great. That's a great first project, or maybe it's 5,000 or whatever it is, and then you do the math, and once you look at the hours that you've put into it, you realize that you were working for $2.50 an hour,
or that you should have cost $20.
And that's again, where are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do? So, I think being knowledgeable when it comes to those sorts of things is a good thing. And I think being smart, there's plenty of great tools out there, and there's new tools that come out every day, but you don't need them all.
Yeah.
And you need to find the tool that's right for you. And so when it comes to cameras, get the camera that's right for the type of content you're shooting. If you're shooting a lot of, brand documentary stuff or sort of corporate videos, then you don't need a Red Dragon.
Unless you're projecting those on the side of a building, then maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, and if you're doing, I don't know, depending on what type of stuff you're doing, you might not even need something like a Movi. Always rent first, purchase second. That's a good piece of advice.
Go to places like Borrow Lenses and Lens Rentals.
That's the biggest piece of advice.
Check it out.
Rent first, purchase second. Yep. If you find yourself renting and you say, "Man, I've rented that thing 5 times. I could have bought one." Maybe it's time to buy one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, figure out what your needs are.
I guess that's my advice.
Yeah, I mean, just as far as like general advice, just keep creating as high quality content as you can. Be consistent. Know your basics, know your lighting, know your...
Yeah, and not only that, but know who you are. Know what projects you want and what projects you don't, and don't be afraid to draw a line in the sand, and don't be afraid to say no and
that's a good one.
Turn people away.
Because if you start doing projects that you're not necessarily fond of, you're going to keep getting you're going to get the projects that you do.
Yep.
So if you do commercials, you're going to attract more commercials. If you do weddings, you're going to attract more weddings.
Sure.
If you're a commercial company and you start doing weddings, you're going to attract more weddings and get away from the things you really want to do, like commercials.
Yeah, or it just causes confusion.
Yeah, and so people don't... Yeah, have a brand identity. I guess that's a good one.
There you go.
Have a brand identity.
Wow.
Know who you are and know what you want to do.
All this This is all free.
Just spitting knowledge.
This is all free. FDBpodcast.com.
Spitting knowledge.
Alex and Brandon just giving it away, guys. Gold nuggets.
For free. Anyway,
Gold nuggets.
Speaking of knowledge, that's another good thing. The World Wide Web is a fantastical place.
Oh, man.
Full of all sorts
Unbelievable.
of golden nuggets. So you can go to all sorts of podcasts, all sorts of websites. No Film School is a good one. The Hurlbut Visuals, he always puts out really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just Google filmmaking techniques and, you know, enter a few keywords that you're interested, cinematography, lighting, lenses, blah, blah, blah. Something will pop up, and it'll help a lot.
Yeah. There's no magic solution.
No.
It's just about, you know, can you tell a good story? Can you frame a good shot?
Yeah.
And off you go.
Oh, here's a good piece of advice, and I think that applies to everything. Watch the projects.
Oh, yeah.
Watch the projects
Absolutely.
that you want to do.
Absolutely.
You want to make good wedding movies? Watch the most successful wedding films on Vimeo.
Yep.
See what they do.
And that's why on the podcast, we talk about what we watched, what we're doing,
'Cause it influences
and what we're
us.
excited about, because that's what this whole thing is about. It's about, you know, studying the craft.
Yeah.
Man,
There's always room to grow. So look to the people
Always.
that are above you.
what a great show.
Yeah.
So if you have been listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon, again, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us on the Ask Me Anything tab at fdbpodcast.com. We would also love for you guys to retweet, regram, repost anything that we're throwing out there. Really build this community. We're growing in numbers on our Twitter following, our Instagram following. We've got 19 reviews on iTunes. We are now
Written reviews, yeah.
No,
just reviews.
19 reviews. We're a 4-star,
Yep.
4.5, or 4 out of 5-star podcast.
Get us the 5.
And we've got like 7 or 8 written reviews. You guys have been great.
Yeah.
If you're listening, if you have not reviewed us on iTunes, please, please, please go give us a review. That's a
helps us
great
out.
way,
Yep.
and it allows us to grow and for people to hear about us. And it also allows people to see the value so that they come on the show and give you guys some really cool free giveaways.
The more reviews we get, the more big brands like Dissolve and Wooden Camera
Absolutely.
we can bring on.
And so I will go ahead and without a doubt make this statement. As we grow, you'll grow with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of giving away $250 giveaways, we'll give $1,000 giveaways.
Yeah.
$5,000 giveaways.
$1 million.
$1 million.
Monopoly money, but
Yeah.
it's still $1 million.
But regardless, it's, you know, as we grow, and we do that by getting reviews and by you guys spreading the word and tweeting us out there. So we really appreciate the feedback and all the interactions
Absolutely.
with you guys out there, man.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool.
One final thing. I just want to make one final plug for the short film trailer that just dropped today that I'm really proud of. It's Daniel and Siri. And you can find all the information at fdbpodcast.com, but also at danielsirifilm.com. That's DANIELSIRIFILM.com. Check it out. Directed by Adam Mark Brown. Great cast and crew. Cast was from New York. Crew was from Cincinnati. We had Livy Steubenrath from Frozen. Little girl from Frozen was in it. It's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, it turned out pretty cool. Check it out. Let us know what you think.
How did they get her on set since she was a cartoon?
She's actually a real girl, Brandon. she's a real girl.
Yeah, check it out in maybe an easier way, because that was a long URL.
It was.
Go to fdbpodcast.com
We'll link it. Yeah.
So
Anyway, thanks.
man, this was great.
Good one.
All right, guys, we'll see you.
Cheers.